Demonic possession is the supposed invasion of the body by an evil spirit or devil that gains control of the mind or soul, producing mental disorder, physical illness, or criminal behavior. The traditional remedy for possession is exorcism, when a priest casts out the demon from a person. The symptoms are usually the following: loss of appetite that ties to significant weight loss. A person might start eating things they're not supposed to eat, like insects or raw meat. Hallucinations. A person can hear unusual things, see things. They might have a weird sense of smell. Speaking in tongues or the knowledge of the previously unknown languages. Unnatural body movements and contortions. Loss of a sense of control. Here we can also add inhuman strength. Aggression. A person might injure themselves or people around them. And missing memory. The devil made me do it kind of thing. We don't know for sure if demonic possession is a true phenomenon. It depends on your upbringing, experiences, and beliefs. However, it's in our curious human nature to be interested in unexplainable and unsolved but creepy and disturbing cases. That's why we have tons of movies made about people getting possessed. The most fascinating thing, though, is that these movies are oftentimes about women and young girls. Why is that? First, let's dive into the history. Some anthropologists stated that women's predisposition to possession could be linked to their biological experiences, such as childbirth and their receptive role during heterosexual intercourse. This receptive role is viewed negatively by society as pure passivity. Women are also physically not as strong as men, and they're naturally more emotionally expressive. That's why for centuries we had doctors diagnosing women with mysterious hysteria, an alleged mental health condition that didn't have specific and evident causes, symptoms, or treatment. According to the way people interpreted female hysteria, a woman was considered to be emotionally unbalanced, lustful, jealous, and manipulative. Thankfully, it's no longer a recognized illness. So from this biological point of view, female possession is an equivalent of intercourse, pregnancy, and more broadly, marriage and relationships with men. It comes as no surprise because there is a good share of horror movies that mix possession with pregnancy. A woman's body goes through a bizarre transformation, and at times it might feel like you have absolutely no control, like your body has a life of its own. The thought that there is something foreign growing inside of you, yet it's so powerful that it directly affects how you function in your day-to-day life. This thought is terrifying. So why not take it further and imagine that this baby was planted in you by Satan? In the past, women were considered to be a disadvantaged and subordinate group. Nowadays, this still holds true in some societies. I.M. Lewis, who was a professor of anthropology at the London School of Economics, argued that women used possession as a tool to obtain material, emotional, or social benefits that would otherwise be unavailable to them. That can explain why in most cases women get possessed by male spirits. It allows them, at least temporarily, experience some of the advantages of being a man. The said male behavior can include smoking or drinking, swearing, and being more sexually open. Possessions are often performative and dramatic in their nature because during it a person is not conscious, and the audience in this case serves as proof that it actually happened. A professor of Japanese studies, Doris Bargan, claimed that in medieval Japan, spirit possession acted as a woman's weapon because through the spirit, known in Japan as mononoke, she could say things to the public that women were not allowed to say. That way, she could have a voice in public matters. Contemporary anthropologists and historians interpret the phenomenon of possession as a form of resistance or transgression. In this respect, possession works as a female strategy to gain empowerment. It's a woman's reaction to religious, social, or political tensions and anxieties in a society. The victims of possession movies, in this case young girls, come from broken families. The household they're growing up in is either very conservative or is missing a parent. We have a divorced dad with 2 daughters, a single mom with 4 kids, and 2 very strict and religious parents. The tension in the family and the anxieties girls are experiencing make them easy targets for the so-called demon. In The Conjuring 2, Janet is the only one out of all her siblings who is visibly concerned with her dad not coming home. That's exactly what she asks the Ouija board about.
Is Dad ever coming home?
Janet is also a little bit boyish and is not afraid to say what she thinks. In the last exorcism, Nell still hasn't come to terms with her mother's death and is devoid of any female presence in her life. Another movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, is a great example of what can happen when you finally break free from your deeply Catholic parents, move to a different place to go to university, and experience love for the first time. People around the girls see them changing and behaving in a way they don't want them or don't expect them to behave. Through possession, the girls are able to finally voice what they've been thinking all this time, either about the unfairness of their upbringing, the religion in general, or how wrong their parents are.
Mommy loves Brett now. He makes her happy.
You don't talk to your father this way.
Things for her. Something you never did.
The only people who are able to tame them are celibate priests, white adult men to the rescue. It's no coincidence, as they are the patriarchal society in a nutshell. After the exorcism is performed, the girls are usually back to their nice, calm, and obedient self. One of the interpretations in historical accounts of demonic possessions that still operate today considers the possessed woman as somebody with sexual problems, particularly sexual repression. The possessed women are often seen with ecstatic facial expressions, bending their backs backward as if experiencing an orgasm. According to an American cultural anthropologist, Melford Spira, in cultures in which a sexual double standard means that many women are sexually deprived for large portions of their lives, possession is a way for some women to seek sexual satisfaction. Since demonic possessions are tied with religion, some exorcism movies like to tell stories of nuns battling evil. Thus, a perfect foundation is set. Nuns are supposed to be clean, innocent, and spiritually strong, as they're constantly fighting their urges, whether it's something minor as consuming alcohol or something more serious like keeping their celibacy vow. In a 1961 Polish movie, Mother Joan of the Angels, a convent of nuns gets possessed by demons. It's loosely based on the 17th century Loudun possessions, a notorious witchcraft trial that took place in France. The film acts as a commentary on religious oppression and sexual repression. The nuns act as they're possessed, and you can even say that they're enjoying it because it allows them to be free. The superior nun, Mother Joan, who is believed to be possessed by 8 demons, basically sums it up very well.
Chcesz mnie widzieć modlącą się z rana w południe i wieczorem. Chcesz, abym jadła fasolę w oleju codziennie, codziennie. I co mi za to obiecujesz? Zbawienie. A ja nie chcę takiego zbawienia. Jeżeli nie można już być świętą, to lepiej być potępioną.
In most exorcism movies, though, the victims of possession are often young girls on the verge of womanhood, exactly when they start having their period or when they become aware of their sexuality. Tim Snelson, a lecturer in media history at the University of East Anglia, claims that, quote, "These films have often been read as metaphors for puberty, with the teen or preteen body being taken over by strange desires and drives, and with both the kids and their parents no longer recognizing their behavior and their feelings, or even their voices," end quote. We all remember what Regan from The Exorcist did with that cross. During the exorcism ritual, girls always scream sexual obscenities directed at their fathers or male priests. And of course it works because you don't expect to hear such vulgar words being uttered by a pure and innocent girl. And here we can talk about the difference between female versus male possession. Male possession films are not that popular and widespread, even though this year we got The Conjuring 3, which was not good in my opinion and focused more on the Warrens than the possessed. When it comes to male possession, it doesn't have the same strong effect on the viewer because naturally boys are allowed to be bad. They can be mad, loud, and aggressive. It's even engraved in our language. We have the phrase "boys will be boys." Eli Roth, one of the producers of The Last Exorcism, said in an interview, quote, "It's the innocence and lack of sexuality of these girls that make them perfect victims for the devil. The devil would want to possess the person who least deserves it, and it's shocking when they begin to act out sexually in their possessed state. It's horrifying. If a teenage boy suddenly became sex-crazed, you'd say he's not possessed, he's 15. End quote. It's sad but very, very true. However, when he was next asked if this would make the whole genre exploitative, because, surprise, surprise, male possession movies don't sexualize the boys, he said no, and that the horror should not have a gender bias. While, at the same time, a minute ago in the same interview, he admitted that part of the fun of their story are the questions of whether the main heroine is crazy or possessed, and whether she is impregnated by her father or the devil. The interview just reeks of hypocrisy. The only thing we can hope for is that the exorcism genre will stop following the gender stereotypes and use the possession as a tool to tell more gripping stories about all types of people.